Thank you for listening to Sometimes Social. We just want to warn you that this audio may contain explicit language that may be inappropriate for some audiences.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Sometimes Social. My name's Luis.
And I'm Yesenia.
And today we got a friend of mine, Rick. Cheers.
Salud.
Before we get started, we have some stickers and some magnets here for you. I got one for you and one for Marta, who decided not to join us today.
You wouldn't want her here, bro. Trust me. She'd literally just sit
So
here.
mean.
And she would sit here and look like the cute little puppy dog. Like just.
That's all we need.
I know. She's probably a lot better on the eyes than I am, for sure. But she's too shy. I asked her. I told her, dude, Bimbo said for both of us. And she just wasn't having it. She's like, I'm too shy. So I was like, all right, whatever. I told her, just sit there. But she's like, nah, she wasn't having it. So
Next time.
I'm here to represent the both of us. So, for sure next time. I'm going to make her next time come.
No, don't make her.
So the reason I wanted to have both of you guys on is because I wanted to talk to you about something that you guys got to do that not many people get to do.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys took a cross-country road trip.
40 states.
40 states.
40. Yep. So far 40 out of 50.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the road trip itself was 38, but 40 total when we've traveled together. So, yeah.
Nice.
Definitely.
But before we talk about that, I wanted to talk about when I met Rick.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've heard this story. I'm sure you have heard this story.
Oh, my God.
So for some reason that weekend I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Which
you
is
were just
weird.
home.
Yeah, which is weird because I'm always out. I was always out back then, but that weekend I didn't do anything.
Bible.
And I heard like all kinds of shit going on outside. I don't know what was happening. Somebody was fighting or something.
Of course, yeah, it was a fight. I forgot who was
At
fighting.
your parents' house?
Yeah. Well, because
Yeah.
Joey lived next door, so.
Okay.
But it wasn't. It was like some of the girls that were arguing or something.
Yeah, it wasn't like a crazy fight, but for some reason I think the guys got involved too. Like we all came out. I mean, it was that night after TJ. And again, this guy was the one who got us in everywhere, so I don't know why he wasn't even out with us that night.
Well, I hadn't met you guys yet.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Because it was like a Wednesday night. It was like a Thursday night, and I think you probably worked the next day or something.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I didn't know any of them yet.
Yeah.
So I went outside. I think I knew Jimmy because I played soccer with Jimmy.
Yeah.
But so I went out, and then I don't know how it happened, but you and Jimmy needed a ride home.
Yeah.
Was it you?
It was just me. It was just me. 'Cause I remember only me in the back of the bed.
No.
Back of the bed?
No, because if it was just you, I would have.
Oh, you know what? It was me and Arturo. It was me and Arturo because we both lived in IB.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. It was me and Arturo.
So I didn't know these guys.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
Jimmy was probably in the front seat.
Yeah, but I don't. You know what? Yeah, you probably dropped him off in Del Sol, and then you went to IB and dropped me and Arturo off.
I'm not a complete dickhead.
Yeah.
If it would have been one open seat.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Nah, yeah.
But so I took you guys home.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy jumped in the front, and then you and Turo jumped in the bed of the truck in the little Mighty Max pickup truck.
Yeah.
And the rest is that's shit.
I didn't even know him. They just said it, and like they're saying, "Oh, don't worry, Bimbo will take you. Bimbo will take." I'm like, "What the fuck is a Bimbo?" Like, no, I said, "What the fuck is a Bimbo?" Like, what the, And then this dude came out, and I was just like, "Yo, like." Thank you, I appreciate it. Like you're the Bimbo I've been hearing about,
I was like, whatever, get in the bed.
And then he's like, yeah, I'll take you guys, but get in the bed of the truck. So we went from his parents' house right there in that little cul-de-sac all the way on the 805, 905, 5 freeway to IB. And I think we went the back way off of in IB, not even like off Coronado or Palm. We went through like the side streets through Southwest just so we wouldn't get pulled over. That's how we met.
But were you like laying down on
Yeah. We laid down, but still, I mean, it's 5 in the morning. You know what I mean? Like 5:30 in the morning. We just got back from TJ. Like everybody's faded. We're 18 years old, under the age. You know what I mean? Like
to be young and careless.
I know. I couldn't even think about being up past 3 o'clock drinking like that.
Oh, we do it all the time.
Oh, dude. I can't.
No, we don't.
Yeah, I can't. I'm like.
We have done it a couple of times.
Like 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, yo, I'm ready for bed. Like the wedding, I was so happy that it ended by 10:30. Like I had it closing off at 11.
We didn't.
Yeah.
I want to party.
I mean, we had it set for 11. Like doesn't matter. I don't care who's drinking, who's drunk. we're shutting it down at 11, and I was just so happy that you guys I think started the trend going to the bar in the inside. Yeah, because that's I think everybody followed you guys, and then we shut down that bar, and you were actually yelling at the bartender talking about I want to keep drinking. I was like, whoa.
I don't remember doing such a thing.
And I was like, hey, I technically kind of work here still, so you gotta chill. Like, yeah, it was funny. Because I've never seen you drunk like that. So that's why I was like,
she's a good time.
Yeah, she was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, but
then I do. No.
That time that you rode in the bed of the truck, that was 15 years ago?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah, you guys are old.
Yeah.
Where were you back then?
At home in my bed being a good little girl than I am.
She was a good girl. Funny story, though. I've actually known you.
Oh, my God. I didn't want to bring that up.
Yeah, I've known her longer.
She said, do I have to say how I know Rick? Yeah. I was like, why? Because then people are going to know that you have a type? Rick's friends?
But so I've known both of you for a very long time. So my mom loves her, by the way. So that's a good thing. I love your mom too. Yeah. She's so nice. She says you're a sweet, sweet girl.
So let's get into the road trip then.
Yeah, for sure.
What made you guys decide to go on a road trip?
Well, my beautiful wife, love her to death, but that's definitely not something she thought of to do. She just kind of listens to my ideas and goes with it. It was more of I started when I moved back from Alaska to California, I started getting into minimalism, where I started realizing I didn't need a lot of shit. You know what I mean? I was buying things, I had a good job, so it was kind of the first time in my life that if I wanted something, I could go buy it. You know what I mean? And I kind of, almost fit the stereotype of just buying stupid shit because I had money, and and I got to the point where I was just man, I started forgetting about my long-term goals. I wanted to, start investing more in real estate, start investing more here and there, and, kind of building up, equity and investment and savings and all that. But I was single. I just came back from Alaska to California, and I got to be honest, Martha and I weren't together during that time. Me and Martha kind of took a 4-year break where we weren't together. So when I got back to California, I just realized wow, I need to start buying shit. You know what I mean? I need to, I was even looking at, dude, I was looking in buying a stupid car. I've never bought a car before. I've been driving the same Jeep for 8 years, And even my associates would be like, Rick, you're a GM, dude. You're driving a Jeep. You should have a BMW.
Dang, you gonna let him take shots at Jeep like that?
I'm still driving.
I'm not a GM, so.
No, but all of my coworkers are you drive that? Why don't you have a BMW or a so and especially in the OC, I feel that community especially, they're really if you're not, that type. So
damn, we're burning all bridges here today, huh?
I know, dude, I feel bad, but coming from where I came from, I grew up, wearing a AAA t-shirt and jeans, what I'm saying, with every different colored chucks you can think of. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, AAA and Pro Club all day, still. And so I started buying a bunch of shit. Just everything you can think of, I started buying for no reason at all. I got an apartment in Anaheim, and I still had my mortgage in San Diego. You know what I mean? I'm throwing money away. You know what I mean? I used to tell people I have the apartment for Axel. You know what I mean? My dog lives at the apartment because I'm working 12 hours a day anyways. And so I remember I was watching Netflix one day, and I watched a documentary on minimalism. And I've been telling people for forever, man, I want to start saving money. I feel like wants and needs are, to each their own, but, you really start to realize what your wants are and what your needs are. So I started looking into that, and for 2 years I started just getting rid of stuff, throwing away stuff that I didn't need, selling stuff that I didn't need. And then I got to a point where I started looking into the RV communities, because it's kind of funny, Instagram, you'll look up one thing and all of a sudden all these pop-ups start coming. So one day I seen a hashtag RV life, and I started following it, and it took me a year to really learn, because what I wanted to really do was build my own RV. I wanted to build my own and live in that. But I realized all right, although I'm a minimalist I would say that I'm a minimalist. I'm totally not even close to like what people like real minimalists are, but I was getting to that point. And I started thinking, well, I can't have Axel like in this little van, you know, because I got to think of him too. He's my kid. I'm a proud Pawther. You know? I'm a very proud Pawther. You know, I'll say that. So I'm thinking of him. You know, and I'm still thinking of like, damn, like although like I got rid of a lot of clothes and shoes, I own more work clothes than I do regular clothes. You know what I mean? Like I got like 10 suits and all kinds of colored shirts and ties. I need something that's gonna fit that at least, because I still have to look professional at work. So I just started shopping around, and I shopped for, you know, I looked into it for about a year, but I shopped for like a good 6 months. And that's when I decided, you know what, I'm going to go for a motorhome rather than like a converted bus, and a small bus, like a little like Sprinter. So I found my RV, and what a lot of people don't know is I lived in it. I parked it at my hotel, and my commute to work was walking from my RV to the front door. And I don't think a lot of people know that. They know that I own the RV. We did this big old tour and whatnot, but I lived in it for 8 months. So I got rid of my $2,000 apartment and went to a $350 a month mortgage payment on an RV. And what a lot of people also don't know is RVs are considered, they're almost like a mortgage, so they give you a 15-year loan on it. So I bought mine for $35,000, and I got 15 years on it, and my payment's $365 a month. You know what I mean? So I lived in it for about 8 months, and then I started hearing about an opportunity to come back in. And the other reason I did that too is because I was driving back because at that point I actually that's when I met up with my beautiful wife once again, who was my high school sweetheart. And and you know, we kind of crossed paths again, which was a funny story. Ran into her mom, and you know, we just kind of started texting from there, and it was kind of like I ran into your mom, and then, you know, kind of went back and forth. And that's how we started talking again. And you know, I kind of ran the idea by her and was like, yo, like, this is what I want to do. And that was the other person I had to think about was Axel, and then I'm not putting Axel first, but that's who lived with me at the point, okay? That's who lived with me at that point. So I had to think about, you know, Axel, and then if Martha came over, like, you know what I mean? Like, she has to be able to have her own space too. And she wasn't in that, like, minimalist mindset yet. So when I heard about an opportunity in Chula Vista to open some properties down here, that's when I was like, I didn't have the job, but I was pretty confident that I was probably the first or second pick at least. So I told Martha, like, you know, I've worked since I was 15 years old. You know what I mean? I've never been able to take time off, you know, and I wanted to take the time off to do, and I was turning 30. You know what I mean? So like I went through like that quarter life crisis of like, yo, I gotta do something, you know? So yeah, so I said, you know, what do you think about doing a 50-state road trip? Well, 48 state, because you can't go to Alaska or Hawaii. Well, you can, but we weren't gonna plan for it. I said, hey, I'm gonna leave the hotel I'm at now, and let's do this road trip. You know, like, let's do it. And we just went back and forth on it. And it was tough because that year, I don't know if you guys remember, it was like that cold front that came through, like the middle states where people had snow. And I mean, it was March and there was still snow everywhere. Yep. The Grand Canyon was closed. Like, we couldn't do a lot of things. So we were supposed to start in February. Well, in January, we were supposed to start. And then, but we pushed it to February, and then we didn't get going until March. But yeah, that's kind of how it happened. I was like, I want to see everything. You know, again, I turned 30. That quarter life crisis kind of kicked in, and I was like, I want to see everything. I mean, I didn't travel growing up. You know, my parents both worked 2 jobs my whole life. You know, we would go to like the La Jolla Indian Reservation and thought that was like the best vacation of my life. You know?
That was ours too.
You know, and I went to Vegas like twice with them, and I'm thinking like, oh my God, you know, my first flight was at 21 when I went to Alaska. You know what I mean? Like I'd never been on a plane. My mom would always tell us as kids, like, when I die, it's gonna be on a plane. Oh. You know, so I was even like,
wait, she said when
she dies, it would probably be on a plane.
She
if it
said
wasn't,
that?
Swear on everything.
Why did she say that?
She just was scared. She thought that if the day, with her luck, she'd get in the plane, and that's one of like a million possibilities would be her that the plane crashes. you know, and dude, when I left to Alaska, I mean, everybody was like crying and like she bought a rosary and was like,
because
you know, like all over. Yeah, before I got on, I'm like, Mom, I'm not gonna die. Like, you're not making this easy for me, you know. And I didn't do roller coasters growing up. Like, we didn't do none of that stuff because like my mom was just always scared. You know what I'm saying? And she's always talking to me. You know, Mexican moms. They're always talking about like my friend's kid died on a roller coaster, so we don't want you going on one. You know, so it was like, you know, we didn't really do a lot of stuff. And
so you're ready.
Yeah, you know, so yeah, that's kind of like the big reason. Like, I was ready to see the world a little bit, and before I started going overseas and doing that stuff, I wanted to see what was in our backyard, you know what I mean? And thankfully in the position that I'm in for in hotels, you know, I've gone to a couple conferences where I've seen a few things, and I'm, you know, now that Martha and I were engaged at the time, I'm like, I wanted to show her those things because she also wasn't a person that traveled a lot, and her family same thing. We grew up, you know, not as fortunate as others, and we're able to travel like everybody else. So this was kind of our opportunity, and instead of spending, you know, thousands on plane tickets, it's like, yo, let's drive, you know, because I love driving.
Instead of spending thousands on plane tickets, let's spend $30,000 on a fucking RV.
You know, actually, no,
but
it wasn't really that expensive. I think in gas alone, we spent about like $9,200
for the whole trip.
For the whole trip, yeah. Because once you get into those middle states, bro, the gas is only $1.
Oh, wow.
Fuck.
Yeah, what fucked us is the Westcoast and Eastcoast. Yeah, excuse me, sorry. You know, that's when it's like back to the $3, $4. But when you're in the middle states, bro, I mean, and you're getting 300 to 380 miles per fill up, I mean, it's good. We only drove, I think we drove like, 12,000 miles total. You know, so $9,000 for 12,000 miles.
So speaking of that, how did you guys map out the route?
So, funny thing, actually. So, what made me... I had the RV at this moment, and a Facebook memory popped up of a... And I don't even remember posting this, but a Facebook memory popped up, and it was already a map drawn out on how to visit every state's national monument. And I was like...
That was
the
universe
Perfect.
telling you,
It's
do it,
so,
go.
And it was funny, and I tell Martha, oh my God, I forgot that I posted this like 5 years ago. Check it out. Let's do this. We did make some changes because of the cold front, and I didn't want to see some of the things too that just weren't as interesting. Like, for example, Florida's National Monument. We ended up going to Disneyworld for 4 days. It was only supposed to be 1, but it turned into 4. I think we spent more money at Disneyworld than we did on the whole fucking trip, bro. So that was that's how that, you know, kind of went down. As I found that map, and I was like, perfect. I totally forgot about this. So we kind of went off that and you know, modified it, you know, as needed, but that's what we went off of. Somebody took the time to create that map already and had it drawn up. So we I think it started in LA, but we just went from San Diego.
Right.
So.
And did it have on there, like, well, I guess not where to stay, but like where to park your RV, where to eat, any of that? You guys
it only had like monuments and their capitals, or just like what that state was known for, and or what their number one attraction was. So that's what that was. It was customized as. But like, we're in an RV, so like we would just look up, you know, nearest Walmart, you know, super centers. We did stay in a few RV parks, and so we can like dump the water and dump the sewage and stuff like that. But there's really nothing. We kind of winged that, which if I could go back, I wish we planned that out a little bit better, because you really don't realize how much you have to drive to get to do those things. And it sucked because we also started the road trip during daylight savings, so we lost an hour during the trip. So like waking up at 7:00 was already hard. Now, you know, it's 6:00, and then when we started getting to like the middle states, it was really like 4:00. So we're waking up at our time, which is like super late their time. You know what I'm saying? So in our bodies just weren't programmed yet. So we're waking up like at 10:00 and getting we wasted like 3 hours of potential drive time, you know. So that was tough, something that I didn't think about during the drive, and probably cost us about 3 days, I would say. But
you drove the whole time?
Yeah, I drove my beautiful wife will tell you that she drove all this time, but I drove probably 96% of the time. Okay. She only drove on straight freeways. She wouldn't do any mountains. She wouldn't do anything at night. It had to be a freeway that was straight and like nothing in sight. It had to be flat. So yeah, I drove like 96% of the time.
So how did you guys decide? Did you guys like say, okay, we're gonna drive every night or every other night, or what was the plan there?
You know, again, it was kind of like something you just kind of like didn't think to plan for. You know what I mean? So when our first stop was Vegas. What are those little rocks? You know, those colorful rocks everybody goes to. And we went to that, and then we stayed there for the night because her brother was living in Vegas at the time. He didn't even end up coming out with us that night, but we go to see this dude. He doesn't even come out. And then we went to the Hoover Dam the next day, and then we started driving to what's it called? I think it was like Valley of Fire National Park, which is in Nevada, I think. And then we were gonna go through Arizona. The Hoover Dam, I think, is on the border of Arizona and Nevada. So we did that. That was our Arizona. And then we were gonna go from Arizona to New Mexico to the White Sands National Monument. That we didn't realize, like, damn, this is 8 hours of driving is a long time. You know what I mean? Like you don't take that into account. And again, waking up a little bit later, So if we could go back, we would definitely make sure that we wake up as early as possible, because if not, you start driving into the dark, and that's not really fun in an RV, especially when you don't know the roads. So yeah, it was. I wish we could go back and plan for that better. Yeah. We just didn't plan that out very well. We just had the map. We didn't take into account driving time. You don't have to stop because we had food and restrooms inside the RV. Only time you have to stop is for gas. But I wish we did a better job at planning out.
Like the drive times.
Yeah, drive times and what time we had to wake up, what time we had to get there, those kind of things. But I'm just so like impatient that I'm like, let's just go.
Let's just do it.
Do you have an idea of how much time you drove total?
Wow. I will say that at every stop, bro, we really only stayed there for like 3-4 hours. So like you can just imagine how much we drove, to only do 3 to 4 hours. I think the longest we did stay in San Antonio for the whole day because we went to what's it called, the Alamo out there. We went to the Alamo and we did like a whole tour of that area. It's a really cool area. So we stayed there the whole day. That was probably the longest, which was probably like 7-8 hours. But I mean, each stop was kind of an in and out, because again, I wanted to like go, I want to get to the next thing and the next thing, and I want to get it all off, I want to get every state,
Yeah.
And so yeah, that was. I mean, you could I'll tell you this: we watched the entire series of Game of Thrones in the RV while we were driving, like. Because the new season was just about to come out in March.
What do you mean while you were driving? So one of you was watching it?
I was driving. No, I mean, you're driving on a straight road. So I put it up.
I had to the side.
Yeah, I mean, I put it up on the dashboard, you know what I mean? And you just like magnet it. I mean, I'm driving, but I can do this, you know what I mean? Like I'm watching it with my peripheral vision, like, and we've already watched it. We were just rewatching it to get ready for, the new season. So we watched the entire series.
Don't try that at home, kids.
Yeah, please.
Don't try that on the road. I guess.
But this is what I tell people: I'm not the perfect driver, but I'm a damn good driver. I mean, I drove from Anaheim and back for 3 years. You know what I mean? Like I was consistently on the road. I drove all over the state of Alaska. Alaska is 3 times the size of Texas for people that don't know that. So it's a lot of driving. Anywhere you had to go in Alaska took 3 to 5 hours. Shit. Sometimes 8 hours. You know what I mean? So I and that's in the snow. So I feel that I'm a very good driver.
A good driver.
Yeah. So that's why I was able to watch TV. Yeah. Some would say, because I'm not going to admit to that, just in case somebody's watching this shit. But yeah. So that's kind of how we did it. It was a cool little setup though. Like, and because I mean I have the bigger iPhone, so like it was literally right here.
Flex.
Martha, would sit right here and it's like right there. So like, I mean, I would watch the road but like I would look over here a lot, you know, and there'd be a couple times where she's like, Ricky, and I'm like, I'm good, like I got this.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, I got this. Like it's more like that's gonna make me crash than what's actually happening.
Bro, I hate them. Watch out.
Oh my
Watch
God,
out.
bro.
I am watching.
Bro, like
Wow.
I mean, I will say there's been a few times that she's like, Ricky, and I'm like, oh, I can't even say I got that because all right, I didn't see that. Like, I feel like I'm very good at like thinking about what they're about to do. You know what I mean? Like I expect the worst at all times. You know what I mean? So I'm like, before this person even gets in my lane, I'm like, don't do it. I know what you're gonna do. Don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm already like expecting that. So I'm a very focused driver. You know, alert, focused driver to where, you know, I'm thinking of the worst. I've been in 3 bad car accidents in my life. One of them almost killed me. So trust me, when it comes to the road, like I'm focused. But yeah, we watched.
I mean, you made it through the whole road trip and
We
nothing
did.
happened.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to
He's
that.
been in 3.
We will get
So
to
something
that.
happened?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay, well, let's go. Right
He's
there.
been in 3 bad car accidents, so don't watch Game of Thrones while you're driving.
Hold on. 3 bad car accidents where I was not driving. Okay. So all 3 of them that I was in, somebody else was driving, which I was affected. One of them, you know, I broke my pelvis, broke my ribs. Like,
my God.
yeah, my brother was driving. Another one, my cousin, like, ran over a dude. Yeah, it was bad. Like,
Allegedly.
No, he ran him over. Wasn't his fault. Like, it was like a 2-lane road, and the dude was double parked, and my cousin just went around, but another car came, and there was a dude talking to that car. So we, like, tortilla the fucking dude, you know, and you wrap up a tortilla real quick. He like rolled up real quick between the 2 cars. Yeah.
Shit.
So I'm traumatized when it comes to cars, you know. So like that's why like I'm alert when it comes to being on the road, you know. So like I watched all 7 seasons of Game of Thrones, but nothing happened.
Well, something happened though, but not while you were watching Game of
Not
Thrones.
while we were doing that. So we did have an accident in Mississippi. And it's not my fault though. It's not my fault.
No, of course not.
Martha will say it was my fault, but it was not my fault. So the RV is 10 feet 6 inches. There was a not an awning. What are they called? Like the little porta-caches. A porta-cache. We were gonna stay at a hotel in Mississippi because Mississippi was like 20 degrees, and we didn't want to keep the heater on all night in the RV because, like, when you keep it on consistently throughout the night, like, you wake up all congested and just nasty. So with my Marriott points, I was like, I'm going to stay at a Marriott for the night, whatever. And we're driving in, and the porta-cache said 13 feet. So I'm like, cool. I mean, I got nothing to worry about, right? We're driving, and Martha goes, you're not going to make it. Yeah, you know.
It says.
You don't mansplain a man, you know? So I'm like, I got this, all right? Like, you're not going to tell me I drive this RV 96% of the time. You're not going to tell me I'm not going to make it. It says 13 feet. Most motherfuckers 10 and a half. Boom! I ripped off all of my AC units. Yep. All of the window things. You know, we ripped it all off.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh
So I ripped it
my
all off,
God.
and Martha go, Ricky! And I'm just like, I don't know, instead of reversing out of that motherfucker, I kept going. I drove out of it instead of reversing out, you know. And I think you panic, you know. I think if I would have reversed out, I probably wouldn't have had that much damage that I had to it. But I drove through it, and I'm telling her, this is where like the South Side came out. I'm like, yo, shut up, because if I might have to pay something for. I wasn't even thinking about the RV. I was thinking about the hotel, because we've had guests hit ours to where we're taking their information for the insurance, And it was like 2 a.m, so I'm like, shut up, you're gonna burn us out, blah blah blah. So I pulled around the hotel, and I got on top of the RV, and I had to take off all the glass and the plastic that I completely ripped off.
Shit.
And she didn't talk to me for like 2 days too, because she like,
I told you.
she was so mad at me because she was like, I told you you weren't gonna make it. And I was like, so the next morning, I go to the front where we hit it, and there was plastic everywhere. Like, it looked like a crash scene. And I was just like, yeah, man, somebody got in a bad accident here. Bless their hearts. So we checked out, and I looked for like a Camping World, and got hit for like $2,300. So
$2,300 doesn't sound too bad.
It's not bad for what I thought. They did try to get me. They're like, well, the membrane on your roof might be damaged. I'm like, look, dude, just replace my AC units, replace the little window things, and let's get moving. Like, I gotta go. We got places to go, people to see. Like, let's go. And yeah, so $2,300 later, I had to replace that. So yeah, it was really scary because like. Yeah, it's funny. Even being 30 years old, the first thing I thought was like, call my mom. Like, oh my God, like I need to call my mom. Like, I don't know what to do, But I ended up calling my dad because my dad's a mechanic, and it's just like, yo, like this is what I did. And I remember when I'm telling him, when something like that traumatic happens, in the moment you're like, it's scary. But like the next day when I'm talking to them, because Martha's still not talking to me at this point. So like, I'm talking to them. I'm like, hey, road trip's going good. We got in a car accident. We got in an accident. And my mom, what do you mean? And then I start telling them, bro, you know how I laugh. I went in full on laugh mode because I think it was so, there was so much trauma there that like now that everything's over, everything's fine, they're going to fix it. You just couldn't help but laugh. Yeah. Then Martha starts laughing because I'm laughing, and we didn't even say sorry to each other. We just knew we were good at that point, And we were at like a Popeyes. We were sitting at a Popeyes. I remember.
Fucking Popeyes. People together, huh? Hey, reach out for that sponsorship.
I'm laughing so hard, bro, that Martha starts laughing, and then after that, like when I hung up, like we didn't even like say sorry to each other for yelling at each other. We just like knew like. Okay, at least we're good. Yeah. Like it's over with. Like I'm mad at you. You know what I mean? I think we even slept because we got the hotel. I think we slept in 2 separate beds that night. Like that's how mad. That's how mad she was at me, dude. She was mad because she told me don't do it, and I'm fucking stubborn. I'm gonna make it. But I did tell when I left. I did email the GM like, hey, the height of your signage is wrong. I don't know how I found out, but I'm just gonna let you guys know. But I think it was because it's one of those kind of tilted down so that the snow and water falls off. So I think this side is probably that 13 feet, but over here it's definitely under 10. So yeah, that's the only bump in the road, thankfully, that we had during that trip. But it was a funny experience. Dude. So
some people have makeup sex, but Rick and Martha have makeup laughs.
Well, we won't go into that. This is a family podcast, so we won't go there. How many states? Okay. I'm just kidding.
Next topic. So what was your guys' like favorite place that you guys saw or visited?
What? You guys know. You know what? Let me rewind a little bit because this is how I got her to go with me on the road trip. Because it was scary for both of us. I'm not gonna lie. It was as much as I tell people it was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. It also was one of the scariest experiences you'll ever have.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you've never traveled,
it's more that you don't know the roads that you're going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know the 905 like the back of my hand. I know the 805 and the 5 like the back of my hand. It's driving roads that you're not used to driving, not comfortable with driving. The conditions in the area, the wind was the biggest thing. Like, I never felt turbulence in a vehicle before. You know what I'm saying? Like, to where, especially when semis are driving past you, that little wind current that like
draft?
Like in NASCAR, the draft,
yeah.
When they get right here, you feel it, like you jerk, so that's like another reason why I kind of drove 96% of the time. But the biggest thing,
stronger.
Yeah. I had to do it, bro. Yeah. But the biggest reason why Martha decided to go with me was I said, okay, for Florida, I'll take you to Disney World. All right, fine. I wanted to go to this like kind of swamp area that's really cool and do like one of those like canoe things through it and stuff, but I know I'm not doing no swamp,
Yeah, it's fucking gators, bro.
Like smell like shit, so I told her, all right, we'll go to Disney World for a day. Well, 4 days later, that that was what happened in Florida. We went to Disney World, but I will say that for me, I think I'm a Disney fan, but Martha's like a Disney freak. But I have to say that Disney World should literally be its own state or city, at least. Like, it's stupid that it's not like the capital of Florida. I mean, you guys have been, right?
Yeah, who gives a shit about Tallahassee, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, seriously. You've never been?
No, never been.
Disney World.
I mean, they definitely took Disneyland and was like, okay, this is good. Now let's take everything that we did bad here and make it better at Disney World.
Oh, so you just ended the debate right now.
Oh, for sure. 100%. I mean, Disney World is by far better than Disneyland.
Holy shit.
By far, bro. Like, and that's coming from a person that, like, we've been annual pass holders for 10 years, but, like, I was never like, oh, you know, like, yeah, I'll go to Disneyland. It's not like a big deal to me, but I love it. But it's not like I'm dying for it. Martha's like, I'm dying for it. We got to go, you know. But through the pandemic, I will say, like, I missed the popcorn smell and the smell of, you
Just
know,
being at
pirates.
Disneyland.
And I will say now that I don't have it, I miss it. You know, I will say that. But Disney World, for me, I feel was just like, wow. Like, mind blown. All of their parades, the fireworks. I mean, there's so much more room and space. The lines aren't like Peter Pan. You're not like rubbing shoulders with people. Like, they're legit spread out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you know, they have their own lake.
Don't they have like a queue, or is that only for the fast pass?
So, and this is the other thing, like, Disney World, you get to choose your fast passes the day before you get in.
But you only get 3, right?
Yeah, you get 3 of them, but you also get the early bird, whatever thing it's called, where you get in an hour before. So you get to, if you didn't get the fast pass for it, go do that first.
Magic Morning.
Yeah, like, and you get it every day as long as you stay in a Disney hotel.
Right.
So, which you have to, because it's like stupid. It takes 45 minutes just to get into Disney World, and like they have their own transit system. I mean, it's insane. So I will say that that's probably, I would say that was probably my favorite experience, but it was really cool to like go to New York City and kind of experience that. You know, the whole, you know, one bite, everybody knows rules has been big, so we did a lot of pizza out there and went on the app.
Know what that is.
You don't know Barstool Sports?
Dave Portnoy?
Oh,
One bite, everybody knows the rules?
No.
Oh. So you know, they have a pizza. So basically, real quick, this dude has a pizza app where he goes and he rates pizzas. He doesn't rate them above like a 7. If it's like 6 to 8, like, they're phenomenal pizzas.
He has like, I think his highest score is like a 9.3.
Yeah, and it was like his like 5th review, which he goes back and says, you know, it was kind of the beginning of it, and I would never give it a 9.3 if I did it again. So like I don't think he's given since then anything above a 9. So we did like a lot of pizza out there, and I will say that I'm a New York over Chicago pizza guy after that, because I tried Chicago pizza and I was like, oh my God, this amount of cheese is just like, this is the best thing ever, you know. But after having like real New York pizza, especially the ones that he, you know, high rated, that was really cool for me. Martha would probably say Disney World is her favorite.
Did you by any chance have Mexican food in Chicago?
You know, I didn't. I did ask a few people to like, hey, you know, I heard, you know, Mexican food is like the thing out here. But we had to leave. Chicago was actually one of our last stops that we got to stay for like a full day, because I got called for the job, and it was like, hey, can you start on Monday? And it was like a Tuesday. And I'm like, it's going to take me 3 days just to get home from Chicago. So we wanted to do like the pizza and the hot dogs before we left. And I wasn't really, but I did want to try the Mexican food, because they say Chicago's supposedly Chicago has like the best Mexican food in the world.
It's an ongoing battle between some friends of ours that are from Chicago.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't even need to try it to know. Like, because like for me, like I've been to Chicago probably 4 times. And one of those times I was there for a week, and I had like carne asada nachos, and it was like steak nachos. It wasn't, granted, it was from like a restaurant.
Type.
It was from a like Mexican grill, but yeah, I mean, I'm like, yeah, that's all I need, because even down here, the Mexican nachos they have carne asada. Like, they're not steak. You know what I mean? Like it tastes authentic. You
should just call them steak nachos.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's the thick steak that you're like, you know, like you're chewing on it like a fucking cow and shit. So.
What about favorite memory? Do you have a favorite memory from the trip? It sounds like maybe the car accident would have been the one.
That's a scar. You know, I think my favorite memory was so Martha, like, I'm a big blues guy. I love blues music. I love like oldies. I love just like feel good like music on the guitar. And kind of the main reason I started playing the guitar too was because of Martha. Like, I wanted to learn this song that, you know, we not trying to get brownie points, but yes I am, baby. But I wanted to play this song for her. That's kind of the big reason why I started playing. It's funny story. I actually, when I was a kid, I was learning the piano. My mom had me like in instruments, and I was learning the piano, but I was like, girls don't like the piano. I want to play the guitar. Now, shit, I wish I learned the piano because like that's where it's at, you know. But I started playing the guitar. I gave it up, and then I wanted to start learning again because of this song that I wanted to play for Martha. And one of the things in Alaska as well, one of the hotels I ran out there, it was a music cafe attached to the hotel where we do like open mic Thursdays, and people would come out from the communities and play like an open mic, and a lot of it was blues. So when I did my training for Hampton, when I worked for Hampton, their headquarters is in Memphis, and I always told Martha, I want to take you to Memphis one day. I want to take you to Memphis. I know you don't like blues, but I want to take you to Memphis one day. And and she was just on the trip, you know, where instead of I forgot what the capital was, not the capital, the attraction was in Tennessee, but I was like, I want to skip it and I want to take you to Memphis because I love it there. Like, I love the music, I love the vibe, I just love everything about it. And Beale Street, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Beale Street, but Beale Street in Memphis is like Bourbon Street in New Orleans, and so we got there, and I was like, I want to take you to this blue bars where they do like an open mic feel. You know, people get up there and they play blues music, and that, I gotta say, was cool because she loved it. She loved it. We were vibing all night. It's packed like a club, but like everybody's in there just like, yeah, like, you're just feeling good. You're drinking, you know, some whiskey, and you're just, you know, like it's a good feel, and that was a cool moment because it was kind of like, all right, we did something you wanted to really do, and now we're doing something that I really want to do, and we both liked both of those things that we wanted to do. Yeah. You know, where, you know, probably 10 years ago, you'd have to drag me to go to Disney World, you know, where now I'm like, I'm looking forward to it, you know. That was a cool experience to go to Memphis and enjoy that together. For her, you know, on top of the Disney World, I also forgot about this. We didn't plan this, but when we got to New Orleans, it was Fat Tuesday.
Oh shit!
Mardi Gras,
nice.
the main Fat Tuesday in March.
Yeah.
We're like, oh dude, we got to do this. Like, we're skipping the, you know, whatever it's known for. We're going to fucking Fat Tuesday. Never will we do it again, but it was
why,
dude. So I mean, one, the girls showing their chichis, like, mija, like, no, don't, like, you're a good girl, you know, like, don't listen to these guys, you know, and you gotta be careful because they're flying everywhere. Like, these girls just like, whoa, like, like, I'm like, whoa, like, I thought, like, maybe you'll see one or two people, you know, but there's chichis everywhere, you know, and it's like sardine can. So, like, you know, you're feeling all the sweat and like you're smelling everybody, like, and people are throwing up on the floor and peeing on the floor because you can't, once you're in, you cannot get out. It's a one way, you know, once you're in the crowd, you're in, you know, and I remember there was a fight and the whole crowd took a step back. And I mean, we were little Mexicans, like, you know, when that crowd moved back, it was like we lifted off our feet. You know, like our feet went up in the air, and it was, you know, so it was like, yeah, and it hit us so hard that like we were holding each other, and it almost like ripped us like apart from each other. We're holding each other's arm, so like it was a cool experience up until that, you know. And again, it was like 2 a.m., so like I was already over it, but we couldn't get out, because you you had to like find it. We finally found an alley that was like, let's just go down this way. Come on. Well, we were walking down an alley, fucking New Orleans at 2 a.m, and it was like, what the fuck? But all the drinks were great, and then the next morning, Marta was able to have the famous beignets that they serve in the French Quarter. So she would probably say the French Quarter and Disney World, and then for me, I'd say probably Memphis is just an all-time favorite of mine. I love going to Memphis. I would go there on a vacation just to go. So
that didn't make our top 10, huh?
No, it didn't.
Tennessee did though, right?
Tennessee.
Well,
Nashville.
Nashville's great. I've never been, but I've heard very similar things. Like Nashville and Memphis are great
I like
spots.
Country music, so I want to go for the
Really?
country. Yeah.
Wow. That's just one thing that I'm like, I don't think I can do. Country music. I like Chris Stapleton, but he's very bluesy. I like the bluesy side of country. Yeah. I don't like give me a red cup and put some thing in my drink. That's not me. But like Tennessee whiskey, that's me right there. I like soulful country music. So
it's not for everyone.
It's not. It's not. I like all music. I'm not hating on country. I just haven't found country that I like. Is all I'm saying.
Well, then we're just going to have a country night here. Maybe we can introduce you
I thought you were going to say we're going to go somewhere. I was going to say Marta's not going to country. She is not going to country. But, yeah, no, I'll definitely listen to it here.
So at one point, you decided to turn your road trip into a business opportunity for your RV.
Well, from the get-go, I wanted to, figure out. I told Marta, because when I first started in the hotels, I was like, I want to open a hotel. Working with people is my thing. Hospitality is my thing. And it was always like, I want to open a hotel. When I started managing hotels and getting, more into an executive level role, I started realizing, there's a lot more into hotels that, I didn't take into account that I really don't want to deal with, especially now, things it's happening right now with the pandemic, just the decisions that people have to make. I just couldn't do it because I care too much. When I build, I don't know how to make business just business. I invest in the people. I start, almost making them family or friends or whatever, to where I just, it would hurt me to have to do what a lot of these owners and executives have had to do, so I started telling Marta, I want to do a RV park. And that's really what I was looking at, is I wanted to do some type of RV park, and just doing a business plan around that. Well, when the pandemic hit, it kind of transitioned, because now I'm let go from my position. I've done hospitality for 14 years. I don't know anything else. I'm thinking of all these opportunities. What can I do? And at the same time, I have my RV, and I was about to sell it, because to me, I'm we don't have money to go anywhere, and we can't go anywhere. I don't like seeing, again, the minimalist in me. I'm I don't want to pay for something
that I'm not going to use,
that I'm not using. And I just, a buddy of mine told me about how he rented an RV off this website or blah, blah, blah. Maybe you should start renting it. And I was like, all right. So I started looking into the Airbnbs of RVs, and I found a website, and, I put it up. Literally, I put it up, and I know how to market it, because it's very similar to hotels. And you have to, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't see, length of stays, how to, maximize your profit. Renting it for one day doesn't make you a profit, because you have to clean it, and just all of the expenses that go into it. You have to, rent it for a minimum of 3 days, and vice versa. And so it was really easy for me to go through that, where I'm a part of an owner's page on Facebook, and there's some people that are like, oh my God, what pictures do I take? They don't even know what to do with that, and I think that's what helped me the most, is I posted a bunch of pictures from our road trip, and I didn't even think of it, but I was taking pictures of just the RV and all the states that we were in, you know what I mean? And just with things behind it. So when I marketed the renting it, it kind of looked like my renters were going to these places, but it really was me. And luckily I had my Instagram, Ricky Ricardo.
Don't worry, I'll bleep that out.
And I had my Instagram, so I also put that as kind of like our website, and I had pictures of all of our traveling with the RV. So it was just kind of a perfect kind of transition, you know?
Yeah.
And so I posted it, and I'm not kidding, within 3 hours, I had my first booking.
Oh, wow.
And he booked it for 3 days. They went to the desert. He crashed it. He
Oh my God.
Yeah, took off the top of my
He did the
my,
same
And
thing
you said, don't worry, but it happens all the time.
Hey, when he came back, I said, hey, bring it in, buddy. I've been there. Martha wasn't happy, but I was like, hey, I know what he's going through.
Kindred spirits
No,
right
but
now.
but the cool thing is like they didn't tell me about it either. What they just did is they went and fixed it. They bought me a brand new, and they were reversing, and the son just finished going to the bathroom. So they reversed into a parking spot. The son opened the little vent in the bathroom, and then they went forward, and then the tree trunk ripped it off. But they bought me like a brand new, unbreakable, vent, and just replaced it. So they were like, hey, we just want to, call you about it, but this is what happened. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm canceling everything. Like, it's the first thing I thought. And they're like, but we replaced it. And I'm like, well, let me see. I called my dad because, I want him to look at it. Fucking beautiful. I mean, now I'm like, dang, bro, now I got to replace all of them. Like, I can't have this nice ass one in the back and like the rest of them look like shit. But that was, it was cool, but it was also a little scary for my first one because it really made me like, do I want to do this? Because at that point, I still had that attachment to the RV. I wasn't looking at it as a business opportunity. I was still looking at it as if I owned it and that's my baby. It's like, I lived in it, so I had an attachment to it. And you really have to separate yourself from things that you rent out. Like if you ever do Airbnb, you can't have that personal attachment to it. People are gonna mess your shit up. Yeah. Kids are gonna have spills. They're gonna throw up. Their dogs are gonna piss and shit everywhere. It just you can't. And even when you tell them, like I have a no pet policy, but they're still gonna sneak a fucking dog in there. Right. So don't get mad. But back yourself up by having a larger deposit and. And the good thing about the RV business is the people that are renting them got money to spend, so it's not really an issue, and like my deposit's $1,500, and people they do it like nothing, so whenever I have an issue, I just take it out of the deposit and they're, yeah, no worries, I understand. Like one dude gave me a bad review because he was like, well, I'm paying you should be able to dump this, and like, one thing is like I have a $250 dumping fee and a $150 cleaning fee. If you clean the RV and you dump your shit, I don't charge you. You get it waived. Other RV owners don't do it regardless because they have to go dump it regardless and flush it. They charge people. I don't. I kind of incentivize them and say, hey, if you guys do it for me, businessman, I don't got to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But this motherfucker comes in and was like, and he starts cussing at me and like, well, I paid you this a night, blah, blah, blah. And, my Sureño dad's coming out the front door like, hey, homie, you ain't gonna, but, he still looks at me as a kid, but, my little man syndrome kicked in and I'm like, hell no, you ain't gonna talk to me. You're on my property, motherfucker. Like, This is my RV. He gave me a 1 star and said, like, I'm shady and this and that. And so that was a bad experience for me, but after that, and that was my second one. So 1 and 2 were like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah. But after that, I was like, you know what? I can't have the attachment to it because I'm going to get too mad. Yeah. And it was making me good money. Like that second trip was $2,000 for 10 days. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at it as a business now.
So he paid $10,000 and he had to dump his own shit?
$2,000.
Oh, $2,000?
Yeah, $2,000.
Had to dump his own shit?
And he didn't. Yeah, he had to dump his own shit, bro. What the hell? What are you talking about? I don't give, bro. You couldn't pay me the $10,000 to dump your shit. Like, I'm not dumping people's shit, But now, I'm kind of funny. But I would dump people's shit, no problem. Because now I'm like, you know what? it's a business. It comes with it. I go dump it regardless because I have to flush it out. You know, because sometimes even though you tell people to use the RV toilet paper provided, they go throw a wipey in there, and the sensors are like super sensitive. So like even though it's emptied, like the wipies or the toilet paper gets stuck on the sensors, so you got to like flush it out. You know, so like now it's like, you know, like garbage guys, you know, they probably the first month they're doing, you know, dumping garbage, they probably can't stand the smell. Now, you know, 10 years in, they probably don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I don't want to say an acquired taste because that's a horrible term to use. But it's like, yeah, you kind of get used to it. Like to me, like dumping shit now is like, it's part of the business, you know? Yeah. So yeah, the first and second one, completely like horrible. But, you know, after that, man, I mean, I was booked. I posted the RV it was right after Labor Day. I mean, no, not Labor Day, Memorial Day. It was like May 28th. So May 28th, I've rented it every week up until now. It's out right now still. Oh, wow. So, and after this one comes back, this is the first time since May 28th or whatever that it's not going to be out. So like it comes back October 20th, I think, and then doesn't go back out till November 18th. So we're going to do some fixes and some cleanup on it, some maintenance. I had a very old couple, bless their heart, get in a car accident with it. Oh, wow. Not bad, but, you know, they did like they sideswiped a car, and insurance is completely covering it. That's kind of the cool thing of going towards this company that I rent it through. They totally cover you up to $1 million in liability. And then they cover all the exterior damages. And you just, you know, you pay them their 20%. They take care of all of it. And it's great. And during the pandemic, when I wasn't working, you know, their customer service department was like shit. And I just like reached out to like an executive, said, hey, like, this is what I do for a living. Let me help you. So I actually went on the inside and helped and worked with them on the inside of the app as well. Oh, wow. And I did that for like 2 months before I started working again. And it made me realize like I need to get back to hotels. It was like, you know, I understand why people don't jump industries now because, you know, I try to do, although it was customer service and it was RVs, like I was an owner and an employee, where most of the owners are just owners. Yeah. I was an owner and an employee, and it was cool because I got to learn more about RVs, and I got to see like some dudes, some RV owners, they have like 8 rigs, you know, and they're making, you know, $100,000 a year just renting out RVs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's a good business to be in. It's a good business to be in, for sure.
Sounds like we need to invest in an RV.
I mean, a couple people, I was gonna turn into a management company and start managing other RVs, but I don't have the space for them. Like, I have an RV driveway, but I'm not trying to have all these RVs in my driveway. You know what I mean? So a lot of these owners that have the multiple rigs, it's because they have like a farm or something. You know what I mean? So it's easier for them to do.
You should start your own company.
I
call it RVs. Rick's Vehicles.
Ricky Ricargo, bro.
Oh, Ricky Ricargo. There you go.
RickyRicard.go. You know what I mean? So, Ricky Ricargo Rentals. That's what I'm going to do.
So right now, you know, while you start your own business, where can people find your RV to rent it?
Well, you can go to outdoorsy.com and you can rent anybody's RV. My RV, I have a link in my Instagram bio at rickyricard.go. Instagram page. There's a little website link. Click on that. You click on the availability dates, and whatever's available you can book. I do have a minimum 3-night stay, so a lot of people hit me up. They just want to go to the beach for the day.
No.
Not doing it, you know.
And dump your own shit.
And dump your own shit.
We'll link it down in the description.
No, for sure. I appreciate that. It's a great rig too. You know, it's a 2018. It's a newer RV. It's very clean. It's great on miles. Where a lot of these other RVs, you know, it's not a big bulky one. You know, I'm not gonna get into verbiage, but it's a Class C, not a Class A. A Class A is like the big, you know, round ones, where a Class C is a lot more compact and has like the overhead, you know, classic motorhome look. You know, very easy to drive. It's like a U-Haul. You know, it's like an oversized U-Haul. So it's a good rig.
And put in Sometimes Social in the promo code.
You gotta give them an extra magnet to put on the RV.
Oh, yeah.
No, a sticker. I'll put a sticker on the window.
There you go.
Yeah, it's been it's a great experience, especially, you know, right now during COVID. You know, it was a little scary for me because, you know, I've had people affected by COVID, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't want to rent it because and you'd be potentially, you know. But the cool thing about the calendar setup in Outdoorsy is when the RV gets back, we kind of do a walkthrough, but I let it sit for 2 to 3 days before I actually clean it. And then we clean it and then leave another day or two between trips. So normally it's 3 to 5 days in between trips, just to, you know, eliminate any spread. You know, coming from the hotel industry, I use hospitality approved, you know, disinfectant. We have we don't have any pillows or anything like that, but we have a microfiber type of mattress protector where nothing gets through, nothing seeps through. You know, we shampoo the cushions after every trip, especially because a lot of them go to like the desert and camping, and, you know, just a lot of dirt. So you know, that's one thing. Is just like in hotels, you focus on cleanliness, you focus on experience. That's what we focus on at Ricargo Rentals.
I think that's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank Rick for joining us today.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. You know, I haven't been able to get out the house, you know, for since February, you know, because of this whole COVID thing. And I know we were even thinking about doing this earlier in COVID, but COVID happens, and a very clean environment. So I appreciate that.
And you were being a big bitch.
I was. Hey, I was being very safe, Luis. But yeah, no, this was fun, you guys. I appreciate the opportunity, and definitely look forward to doing this again. It's fun.
Next time with Marta.
Yeah. And I'm gonna make her talk the whole time. Let's see if the stories match up. Maybe we'll have her sit here and me not, and see if the stories match up. I want to hear her side of the Mississippi story. You know, hey, did you tell Rick to stop? Oh my God.
Well, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, do all that good stuff. Hit the bell notification button so that you are notified when we post a new video.
Subscribe.
We're mainly on YouTube. We're also on
Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast.
Oh damn, you guys are on all of them. Yeah, there you go.
But I always forget.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Martha probably knows.
She does. She listens. Yeah.
She always tells me like, "Oh, did you hear the new podcast?" I'm like, no, I haven't yet. Let me catch up. Damn, there's been 3 since damn. So.
Well, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
See ya.